Honor and Glory is a movie that probably is a cinematic atrocity, but it just sort of like toes the line. It's really strange. It's a martial arts film about an intrepid reporter named Joyce. And in the opening sequence, she's doing a report and this lady starts shouting at her and then tries to fight her with martial arts and stab her with a knife. And that's like, when I was like, whoa, this movie is really cheesy already within the first like 10 minutes. Cinematic atrocity? Yes, it is. This is a cinematic atrocity. Honor and Glory also stars Cynthia Rothrock as Tracy Pride. She's the FBI, not FBI. Maybe, yeah, she's FBI. FBI agent, sister of the intrepid reporter. They both know martial arts because their dad's in the CIA and they have like an uncle who's Chinese for some reason. And they're their master. So there's a lot of characters in this story. There's also a villain named Jason Slade who calls himself Jason Slade whenever he can. Probably one of the best sources of comedy in the movie. For some reason, 3 different characters have like a workout montage, but it's not a montage. It's like just like an uncut shot of them working out, and it just like the movie turns from like action adventure story to like workout DVD, and it's pretty funny. There's 3 of those, and there's also this. Okay, I don't know the actor. There's this Japanese guy they hire at the end, and he like every time he fights, he goes. And I'm not sure if that's racist or not, because the guy, even if he is a Japanese actor, that's still super racist because he keeps doing the weird buck teeth thing whenever he fights. He's supposed to be like this amazing Japanese fighter. And there's a scene where someone like takes a baseball bat to the guy's leg and it doesn't do anything. So this movie is pretty wild. It's about the villain, Jason Slade. He basically wants to get this nuclear trigger that's been stolen from a submarine or something. So he wants to get it. It's worth, he keeps asking like for $3 billion. It's just a ridiculous number. And he has all these buyers set up, but there is no trigger when they go to get it. And then they find out that everyone's after the trigger. And the story is really like unfocused. They keep going, they have this hilarious dinner scene where we find out that Joyce and her father don't really get along. So like they're supposed to have like dinner at a Chinese restaurant or lunch. And there's a scene where the dad stands up and goes, Joyce, you haunt me. I really wish that we could be, you know, and that's like he has no inflection when he says that. It's like the worst, it's not bad dialogue, but terrible delivery. And that's from the dad. And then there's also extra characters. There's like a guy who likes Joyce. He's one of the students. And then there's Slade's bodyguard is like an Eddie Murphy looking guy that wants to redeem himself. And then there's a pimp named Silk who also knows, everyone knows martial arts in this movie. It's hilarious. And yeah, it's just like the ending fight scene is even laughable. There's a scene, they basically 4 people gang up on the villain. It's really funny. This movie, yeah, definitely is, I didn't know it would be a cinematic atrocity, but Mystery Science Theater 3000, or no, it was RiffTrax. RiffTrax had a version of it on Amazon Prime, so I'm like, if they're doing a RiffTrax on this movie could be potentially awful in a good way. And what's really funny is that like the story itself isn't really like focused. The nuclear trigger is like off the back, and there's Jason Slade is definitely one of the most over the top villains that's equally not over the top. There's a scene where he's talking about like standing over others and pissing on them, but he doesn't have any emotion when he talks about stuff like this. No one seems to have emotion when they talk. It's hilarious. And then that ending fight scene is pretty funny. The middle of the movie isn't that funny though. There's some moments here or there whenever Jason Slade's on screen or they're doing like a shot of someone working out, and there's just some ridiculousness spread throughout. It's not quite up there as a, you know, self-aware. It's still trying to be a serious action movie, but it just doesn't do it right. However, it's not gust but hilarious. So for a cinematic atrocity, I give it a 5 out of 10.